So the first thing you're going to need as a professional disc jockey is speakers. Obviously, if you're going to become a club DJ, then you won't need speakers because most clubs will have the speakers already in-house. So as you can see here, I have two speakers and they're quite different from each other. The main difference being that this is a professional DJ speaker, this is a home stereo speaker. When you're DJing, you should never use a home stereo speaker. It has different wiring inside. As you can see with the home stereo one, it has a high and mid-range adjustment right here, and this doesn't have that sort of thing here. The other thing you can tell the difference is that this has a felt-like coating all around the outer edge and here on the DJ speaker. With the home stereo speaker, obviously it's wood grain cabinet. If you ever try and take this out on the road, this is going to get all scratched up. This is going to be protective. It has the protective corners on it as well. The next major difference is that the DJ speaker has a wire mesh protecting the subwoofer and the home stereo speaker does not. This membrane on the subwoofer could get punctured really easily if you don't have some sort of protection over top of the subwoofer. The last difference is on the back of the speakers, where the DJ speaker takes a 1/4-inch connector with a heavier gauge speaker wire, and the home stereo speaker will take thinner speaker wire with the bare ends going into the connectors in here. So there's two types of speakers you can buy, passive and active. Active speakers already have the amplifier built right into them, and passive speakers don't. This one I have here is a passive speaker, does not have the amplifier built into it. The disadvantage to the passive speakers are that you're carrying three pieces of equipment, the two speakers and the amplifier. With the active speakers, you're only carrying the two pieces of equipment. The disadvantage to active speakers are that they might be a little bit heavier than passive speakers. The other thing is that you're going to have two cords coming out of the active speakers than you will the passive speakers. With the passive speakers, you're only having the main cord, your speaker wire, coming from your amplifier into the back of the speaker. With active speakers, you're having two cords come out, one from your mixer and one is the electrical, because it does have the amplifier already built right into it. The other disadvantage is that if your speaker blows when you have active speakers, then both are out of service, the amplifier and the speaker. Also with upgrading, if you want to upgrade, then you have to upgrade both. If I want to upgrade my passive speakers, then I just have to look for a new set of speakers. I don't have to look for an upgrade on my amplifier as well. So this is a passive speaker. This is a floor mounted speaker. What that means is that this speaker does not have a hole or a bracket on the bottom of it. You can buy speakers that have the bracket and the hole on the bottom, and they will fit into a speaker stand like this, and when you mount them on the speaker stand, you raise them up. Now, the disadvantage to the floor mounted ones is that when they sit on the floor, the sound is going to travel along the floor. So if you have a lot of people, the sound might get lost. But with the pole mounted ones, you could raise them up and the sound will travel. If you have a long haul, the sound will travel to the back of the hall. So with this speaker, we have the two high speakers, the mid-range, and the subwoofer. And the subwoofer is protected by the grill, as I said. This is an older type speaker. This is covered in the felt, as I was explaining a moment ago. Nowadays you can buy speakers that are covered in a harder type vinyl, like my CD case. The disadvantage to these ones is that if you ever get a rip in them, then you have to patch them. Well, luckily you can buy rolls of the felt, and then you can just cut the size of the felt that you need and use construction glue and patch the tear in the speaker itself. So it has the protective corners that I've already talked about, and on the side it has the handles for carrying the speakers. This is a 150 watt speaker. I certainly wouldn't go any lower than that. When you're doing crowds of 100, 200, 300 people, this is about a perfect size, if not a little bit better. I've seen so many DJs that think that bigger is better for some reason. Bigger is not always better. You can always buy a compact size speaker that has a lot of power to it. If you're going to become a club DJ, then the only time you want to buy speakers is for your booth. Usually in clubs, the speakers are mounted really high up on the ceiling and farther away. This could cause you a problem when you're trying to beat match because of the delay. Having a booth monitor will help you greatly when you're trying to beat match or scratch with your music. So here I have my two home stereo speakers with me just to compare sizes for you. I wouldn't go any smaller than this one, and I wouldn't go any larger than this one. When using a booth monitor, I would actually use a speaker kind of in between these two.